Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name's Amanda. I am back on the floor, so you know what that means. It's time for another spooky video. And if you noticed, there's a change in the background. So I am in a new place today. I am in my room instead of downstairs in the living room. Thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a change of scene. So, onto the video. So I say scary very loosely on this. I don't think it's that scary. I just know a lot of people don't really either understand it or they just don't like the idea of messing with that kind of stuff. And what I'm talking about is my ability and my hobby in tarot card reading. So I picked up tarot card reading not too long ago. I picked it up about last semester, but I've always been really interested in doing it. And this started with my dad. So I talked about this in my last video where I share a lot of these abilities with my dad. Me and my dad both can't see auras, or I can, he can't, but he is really good at reading people. He's always been really good at reading people, and me and him can relate on this so much. Well, tarot card reading is something that he did first, obviously. He did this whenever he was younger, before I was even born. And he stopped doing this because he got a bad reading that came true. And I'm not going to go into the reading because it's not my story to tell. I've always been that way about that kind of thing. But it was this case that he never really wanted me to mess with tarot cards. And of course, when you tell someone not to do something, they're going to do it. So I bought my own deck of tarot cards, and I've been teaching myself how to do readings. And a thing with all the abilities I have all combined makes me be able to read them in different ways. So of course I use something to find out what the actual meanings of the cards are, and then at the end of the reading I basically summarize it in terms that is easy to be understood and kind of will relate to you more than just, okay, this is what the card means. And a lot of times it does work out, and sometimes it's something that hasn't come true yet, and those I think are harder to believe in sometimes. But a big thing to remember about anything that is dealt with the spiritual world, if you do not have control in the situation, and you will know if you are in control of that situation, if you don't have control, stop. If you do not have control that day, do not move forward, just leave it for another time, because that is when things go wrong. And that's what happened with my dad's case. He didn't feel like he was in complete control that day, and he felt something else was taking over the cards when he got that bad reading. And when it came true, he just always had a bad feeling about it. The tarot deck that he used is still in our hallway closet. He asked me when I was younger, whenever he first told me the story, and I piqued interest in it, he asked me to never use them, and to this day I never have. And I don't think I ever will. I don't want to touch them because this is how I see it, and I'm going to go a bit into a little rabbit hole, so please stay with me. I believe a lot in energies. Energies are something that is so powerful that even if you don't believe in the spiritual world, they still affect you. So when you get a bad vibe about someone, that is their energy that is not mingling well with yours. And the same way that we have our own energies, the spiritual world has their own energies. And now the problem is, and I call it an energy shift, whenever I do tarot reading, I always use the cards first. They are always in my hand. I am always shuffling them, no matter what. In between readings, I will take them back and shuffle them. That is me keeping my energy with it. And whenever it's time to read someone else's, I give them the deck to shuffle, so it's their energy on the deck. No matter what, it is that link of energy that keeps it safe. If I don't feel completely in control of myself that day, or I am not completely in control of just anything at some point in that day, I know not to use them. I know my strong days to use them, and if I don't, I keep them in the box. I always try my best to not let other energies, especially negative ones, take over. But even positive energies can sometimes be bad. Any energy that is not your own, and you're using it to benefit somebody else, or you are using it in any way that could affect someone else's life, you need to be careful. And if you want a video on my relationship with different energies, by all means, put it down in the comments. Let me know. I mean, you can even message me on Twitter and just let me know that that's something you're interested in, because I'll talk about it, because that is a very large spiral going down and sometimes going up, but it's just a spiral and it's hard to explain, and there's so much left to explain about things with energies. But just the basics of them are, honestly, if you are not in control, that means your energy is not attached to whatever you are doing. And that is also why I will never use a Ouija board. I will never ever use one, because the whole point of using one is to not be in control. It's to let another energy take over. And that is so dangerous. Especially, I really do believe in this stuff. I really do believe that there are things out there that can affect us. And using something that is allowing them to take over is so dangerous. And that's why I'm always very careful whenever I do tarot card readings. And also, that is why it's so important whenever you are getting your reading done to, one, make sure that person is legit, because if they are not, they could be messing with something that could affect you, not them. And two, if you are getting your tarot reading, to focus solely on that question that you need answered. If you start to drift off and space out, a lot of times things get mixed up and you let something else in, or you let an energy take over that you didn't mean to. So I actually have my deck right here, and the box is, I wouldn't say falling apart, but it's just not holding together the way that I would like it to. So it's a lot of work to keep all the cards in there all the time. But I got this deck. This is the original drawings and everything. And how tarot cards work is everybody who uses them has a ruling card, and I have mine. It's the Empress. And basically the Empress symbolizes somebody who is very motherly in her life, and especially when it comes to the people that she is always surrounded by, she really just wants to help them out so much. But tarot card reading is something that I really do enjoy doing, and it helps me clear a lot up, especially whenever I'm dealing with a situation that I really need clarified. I mean, I go to the cards. But one thing I do need to clear up, I am a very religious person. I always have been, I always will be. And there is a lot of confusion about if what I'm doing with tarot cards is wrong. The Catholic Church does not support tarot card use, and it is believed to be sacrilegious, and I can understand that. And there is always going to be that fine line between anything that could be seen as evil in the eyes of, I mean, anything, honestly. It's not just, I don't believe it's just a Catholic thing. I honestly do believe that in any place, if you use something for evil purposes, then it's evil. And that's why I am very careful with what I do. But that is something that I wanted to clear up. I believe, for whatever reason, I was given these as gifts, as something to benefit other people. And for whatever reason, I have been able to find some kind of control over them to be able to do that. But I also understand that it is very off-putting, especially for someone who is religious, to kind of see that. But please believe that there's nothing evil going on with it. I just really do enjoy doing it. It's just become a hobby for me. And it's something that I do take seriously and am always careful with. I don't want to risk anything because, of course, any kind of energy that can affect you can also affect your friends. And I am very protective over my friends. It's the Taurus in me. But that is just a little insight into the second ability that I have. And whether you want to call it an ability or a hobby, it's something that I really do enjoy doing. And I'm really happy that I picked it up. So that's all I have for that ability. Tune in next week for the last video in this series. I think that one will be very fun to create, and it'll have a lot of stories in it. So don't worry, story times are going to be happening with it. There's no real story I have about tarot card use. It's just something that I picked up. But there will be a ton of stories for next week's. And I will try not to film that one at night too, because it is currently almost 10 o'clock at night right now. So I think I picked a good video to do late at night. Now, moving on from tarot cards, so there's something I wanted to talk about from my last video. So I had made a comment about how I don't like using any kind of abilities that I have to make money. And I got a lot of questions about that actually. And of course, there's something that happens if you say that you don't want to do it for money. You get called fake, or that you don't believe in it, or you're just saying it, different things like that. And I don't believe it's fake, but I do know other people do. And that's completely, like, believe what you want to believe. That's how life works. But I've just never felt comfortable using it for financial gain. I know that a lot of people, when they get their aura read, or their tarot read, or their palm read, different things like that, or when they go get crystals, all of those kinds of things, I know that those people who do get that, they really believe in it, and it really does have an effect on their life. And the only thing I want to do is just help someone clear up what's happening. That's what I use it for. I use it for clarity. And the most important thing with clarity is to know that it's not some scam. It's not something that they're just trying to make a quick buck off of you. And I don't want anyone that I talk to feel like that. Now, of course, there are always people that, whenever I'm doing these, they buy me food, or they'll say, hey, we can make a night out of it and we'll hang out and do some tarot reading and watch movies, and that's all fine. And I don't see that as any kind of financial gain. I see it as just, not only do they want their tarot read, but they also want to hang out. But this is mainly something that I do for my friends. I think it's only been one time that it was for someone that I didn't know personally before, and now I do. So I have no problems using it to help people that maybe I'm not super close with. Like, I don't have any kind of hold against it. And if you feel the need to do something in return for me, just know, one, it's really not necessary, that I don't expect it at all. But if you feel the need to, then I'm more than happy just to have a night of hanging out, because honestly, I just like hanging out with people and talking to people. It's one of my favorite things to do. So that is all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune in next time, because it'll be the finale of this, and then I'm going to start going back into story times of different supernatural experiences I've had, and I have some really good stories cooking up. So, see you in the next video. Sleep well. Hey y'all, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can see the next time I have another scary upload. Click on the video in the right corner to see my last upload, and the video in the left corner is a video YouTube picked specifically for you. Sweet dreams.